Good evening, everybody. Chris and Tiffany here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to this week's live video.
Yes.
We are here. We are back.
And Misty is here with us. She says, howdy, howdy, all. So, two things. One, Midwest body was not ready for that Caribbean sun. Wow. Yes, it gets very hot. My mom and I were talking about that today because I was looking for a long sleeve swimsuit and she was laughing. Uh, Second, I'm addicted to cruises now.
And both of those can very well happen. Yeah, the Caribbean sun can get you if you are not used to it. A little bit of sunburn may be the result. And yep, you've fallen into the one or two categories when it comes to cruising. You love it or you hate it, and it looks like you're ready to book again.
Yes.
So, welcome to the party.
Hopefully, you took some aloe for the sun.
Yes, aloe rub does work really good. We are fair-skinned people, and yeah, been burned more than once.
Yes. Glisten Channels here. Hello, everybody. Misty says, waiting for dinner to get done and maybe looking at another cruise. I love it. Ray is here. Judy and Ray in Nag's Head. Hello, and let's go cruising.
Now, Ray, I have a very, very serious question for you. This is a North Carolina question. Are you familiar with purple honey? Have you tried it, and is it good?
Because apparently it's only in North Carolina.
Yeah, apparently only in North Carolina can you get purple honey. And I asked my daughter about it, who's in North Carolina, and she had not heard of such a thing. She had to look it up and find info on it. But yeah, I saw that North Carolina has purple honey. And I'm going to guess that must have something to do with the flower that the bees pollinate in that area. You know, something in particular in North Carolina that makes purple honey. But yeah, so now I'm really curious about purple honey.
Glisten said, what's up, cruisers and captains? Attila's here. Hi, Misty. Texas Cruiser is here. Good evening, folks. Attila says, hey, y'all. Misty says, luckily no sunburn. That's a good thing because those are miserable. And I see a lot of people on the very first day bright red, and I always wonder how they enjoy their cruise after that because that's painful.
Some people, like, their feet swell up and their ankles swell up when they get too much sun. They get a little too much of that Caribbean love. And yeah, you got to figure the rest of their cruise is not as fun as it could be. It's probably less enjoyable if your whole body is in utter pain.
Yeah.
And you're having to lay down and relax and keep off your feet because of it. So,
but yeah. She said, luckily no sunburn, sunscreen, and large sun hat haunted the shade. Yes.
Smart choice.
Yeah. Glisten says, who's ready for some cruise talk? Ray says, yes, and great honey on toast.
All right. Well, there we go. That's some confirmation. Yeah, I had never, ever heard or even knew there was such a thing as purple honey.
I didn't either.
Until I saw it. It said it's from North Carolina. It's the place to get it. It's where it comes from. I figured, you know what? Ray will know.
Yes. Carolyn's
now
here.
I want some.
Carolyn's here. Oh, my. Hi, Tiffany and Chris. On ship Wi-Fi. Oh, yeah, Carolyn's out.
Yes, enjoying a cruise.
I hope you're having a blast.
Hey, I think Nelly should be out this week too,
yeah,
isn't he?
I think so.
Is he not on the Celebrity Beyond this week?
I think so. Misty said, seen lots of red people, laugh out loud. I get bad sunburns and wasn't trying to have it ruin my cruise. Got you there. Carolyn says, we'll watch this later at dinner. Well, enjoy your dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy your
dinner.
Enjoy your cruise. We'll catch you when you get back. You'll tell us all about it.
Yes. Send pictures.
Yes. Take pictures, send pictures. Love cruising pictures. Now, some, I guess, updated information, something we'll make sure everybody is aware of, that new Real ID requirement goes into effect on May the 7th. So that's going to affect domestic flights.
Oh, are you talking about that star?
Yeah, the star that is in the upper, in our case, upper right-hand corner of our driver's license. That is the Real ID, and is what TSA is going to be looking for if you travel on a driver's license for domestic flights. This is not something the cruise lines are looking for. It's not something they're looking for at check-in, But if you fly to the cruise port, this is something the TSA is going to be looking for. And they are warning people early that, hey, if you don't have it, you can expect delays, problems getting through security, even the possibility of being denied entry and being allowed to fly without the proper identification.
So check your license.
Or travel on a passport. Because traveling on a passport automatically is a higher level of identification and skips you right over that issue and that problem.
Yeah, because you had me check my license and we both have that little star.
Correct. Yeah, so during our last renewal, we're given the real ID, so we're good to go. But yeah, it's something to keep in mind. Make sure you check your driver's license if that's what you use to fly domestically, because you don't want to mess with your cruise vacation and your cruise trip over a little star. And for most states, it's a star. I think a couple different states, it's something different, but it's same general idea and purpose.
Where are we at? Misty said, I met some of those kind of people. Husband and I helped an older lady after she tipped her scooter flying down the hall. My husband heard her complaining about us the next morning.
Wow. So she was flying down the hall. She fell off her scooter for reckless driving. Y'all helped her, and then she complained. Yeah, that definitely falls into the category.
If I read that right.
Of those people.
And then Misty said, I'm too polite for the straw market. Husband kept me moving. Yeah,
The straw market can be fun if you're willing to play.
If you're willing to play.
I'm willing to play.
The part that bothers me about straw markets is when they start touching you. I don't like that. I don't like that.
That's not my favorite part either, but sometimes you can get a good deal. You can talk them down. They're willing to haggle if you're willing to haggle.
Yes. Glisten says, play that cruise ham.
I think it's Horn, baby.
Oh, Horn.
Play the cruise ham?
Yeah. Play the cruise ham. I'm telling you, I got new glasses and I still can't see. Nellie says, hey, everyone. I am on hold with Casino Royale. The new annual cruise came out, trying to get Icon since that is allowed. Needless to say, the hold time is 1 hour.
That's pretty average sometimes, it seems like, for cruise lines. You're trying to call a cruise line, especially like the casino department? Yeah.
Glisten wants to know, Misty, was she or they okay? Misty, yes, she was okay. Looked like Mike Tyson. She looked like she may have done it many times.
Yeah, obviously she was okay. She was okay enough to complain the next day.
Chica's here. Hello, everyone. I am here. I love it. Ray says, we have our cabin for October midship balcony, October 26th. Can't come too soon.
Yeah, we still got a while for that one, but yeah, definitely cannot come fast enough. Looking forward to that.
Yes.
We're going to be down on deck number 2. We're going Cove balcony.
Yes. Bob's here. Hello, fellow cruisers. Hope all are doing well. Misty said, husband and I are looking into World America.
That's MSC's new ship.
Okay.
That is the brand new MSC cruise ship that is out there. Reviews are still coming out on that one. I'd have to say most of them seem to be fairly positive for MSC.
Attila says, Nassau, the original straw market was good. They haggled and it was fun to shop and talk to the ladies working there. Only one person was a bit rude, but it was late in the day and it was very hot. I could see that. Yeah. They're tired. They've been there all day. They're probably hungry.
They've had to put up with cruise passengers.
Yes.
It's not all of us, but there's some that try your patience.
Desiree's here. Good evening, guys. Nellie, if I can't get Icon, I will do my free cruise on Allure. Andre is here. What's the best transportation to and from the port of Galveston? What's that?
James knows the ones that he uses. I know Rick has some recommendations. We drive to the port of Galveston.
Yeah.
And then we park at the cruise port itself. So we don't really use any transportation in Galveston, but I know others have. And I know James has got one that he likes.
Yeah, I can't remember what that one's called.
I can't ever remember it either.
Misty, it has some nice prices. Yeah, you can get some good prices on some good stuff in the straw markets. Just Cody says, finally made it to alive. Yes. I hope y'all are doing great. We are. We got some rain today. It was much, much needed. So
That's true. We did get quite a bit between last night, good thunderstorm, good rain this morning, and a thunderstorm.
yeah. Texas Cruiser says Allure is a great backup plan, Nelly. Glisten says, oh my God, I love the Bahamas, Princess Key, Senior Frogs at Nassau. Oh my God, I'll kill for another one of those trips. Let's not do that. But yes, that's a great trip. Nellie said, Misty, they are cheap. Haley and I may do Yacht Club.
I priced Yacht Club. A little too rich for my blood.
Yeah.
At least right now. But I too would want to do Yacht Club.
Nellie might get a good deal with the casino thing.
That's true.
Glisten says, if you went on a cruise, which place would you go? Europe or Mexico? Europe.
Europe.
Just because I've never been.
Mm-hmm.
Nellie, 18 days till Haley and Martin on Celebrity Beyond and Freedom of the Seas. If we conceive a baby, the name will be Beyond Freedom, Tori. I love it.
Okay, so Martin's not out on a cruise yet. We thought maybe he had already gone, but
yeah,
we are too early. Apparently 18 days is too early.
Yeah. Misty, I was not prepared for how cold the ocean was. 20 minutes, I was good. Yeah, it's still a little chilly right now. It hasn't had time to warm up, turn into a sauna.
Yeah, that's true. Only being April. It was cold last time I went about this time of year. Didn't stop me from being in the ocean, though.
No, it did not. It stopped me.
Yes, it does.
Stopped me every time.
So we did see something very, very interesting today, and I shared it over on Facebook. But it looks like Tiffany's going to have a dream come true. Tiffany looks like she is going to get but another Disney cruise here in the beginning of 2026. Now, personally, I think this is a conspiracy from Disney and Tiffany to get me back on one of their ships. But
whatever works, right?
But I'm a big old nerd, and so Disney's doing their Marvel at Sea. And of course, they've been doing Marvel at Sea, but it's usually out of Florida. And they have announced that for January and February, Marvel at Sea is going to be on the Disney Magic and sailing out of Galveston. So we're going to get Marvel at Sea out of Galveston, something I wanted to do because I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I told Tiffany about it. And of course, she said, a Disney cruise? Why, yes, I would be willing to do that. She said, I would sacrifice a cruise for you.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I know you want to go see Marvel characters. So she said she'll suck it up and go.
I even told him I'll get him tickets if he gets to meet Marvel characters. Because, I always do the princess meet and greet. So he can do the Marvel meet and greet.
So looks like we might have a Disney cruise coming up in probably February-ish of 2026.
Yes.
And Disney Magic is one of our favorite Disney cruise ships.
It's got beignets.
They serve beignets down on deck number 4. You can go down there and have beignets and cafe au lait for breakfast. And so Tiffany, of course, was all aboard for that one.
Yes.
She gets a Disney cruise. She gets beignets. I get to see Marvel characters. She's so willing. Just look how far she's willing to go to make me happy.
Yeah. I'm getting licks.
Yeah, I see that.
Just Cody says, heck yeah, Tiffany, whatever works. Listen says, hey, when you said someone in the chat said something like a Disney cruise in 26, that's also going to be my first Disney cruise. Crazy, huh? Hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
But so is it, oh man, Marvel at Sea, I'd love to see that.
But it's usually usually the Disney cruises out of Galveston are, for Disney anyway, on the least expensive side of the whole Disney spectrum. They're 4 and 5 night sailings. We've gotten them for, you know, $700-800 before. You catch it just right on a really off weekend or something like that, especially in January, February. Usually you can pick up some Disney prices that are not absolutely terrible. So it's kind of all working out.
Misty said, must see the Marvel meet and greet pictures.
I'm looking forward to it. I
hope they have a Marvel meet and greet. I mean, I know they'll have the individual ones throughout the ship, but, you know, they do that Disney meet and greet where there's like 4 or 5 Disney princesses. I'm hoping they do something like that with the Marvel guys.
Oh, no. They said the entertainment's going to be themed around Marvel. The food is going to be themed around Marvel. And that the deck party is going to be, you know, good versus evil.
You think they'll have shawarma?
They already have shawarma.
Okay.
The Euro one, remember? They already have a form of shawarma.
Okay.
I am impressed that you know that reference. I have to admit.
Listen says, hey, you said Disney Magic is your favorite, I think. Is it because it's the first ever Disney cruise? No, it's because it has beignets.
Yeah, it's because it has beignets.
And it's Disney. But mostly because it has beignets.
We like these smaller, older Disney cruise ships, the Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder. Yeah, they are definitely much older cruise ships, built in the 90s, late 90s. But Disney takes very, very good care of their ships. So you can't really tell. I mean, you can because of the architecture of the ship, the way it's built compared to new ships. But they put a lot of love, a lot of care into their vessels and things like that. So we like those 2 smaller ships. But the Disney Magic has a French Quarter bistro down on deck number 4, Tiana's place, which has cafe au lait and it has the beignets because it's all themed around the French Quarter. And the Disney Wonder does not have that. It's just a plain cafe. So given the choice between the 2, obviously the one that gives Tiffany cafe au lait and beignets is going to rise right to the top of that particular picture. Yes, and she's been on that ship before, and I know we don't repeat ships, but I think this is an occasion when it's worth doing, and she'll be happy. She gets a Disney cruise. I get Marvel characters. We both get beignets.
Yeah. Texas Cruiser said, I was editing my video on the Harmony of the Seas during Hurricane Milton, and I relived the Al Chili restaurant in Cozumel all over again. It made me hungry. Yes. Just call Roberto. Tell him bring you some tacos.
It is a good restaurant.
Yeah, it is. Nellie said, I had to walk away. What Disney ship is having Marvel Magic? Yes.
Magic. Yes. Disney Magic sailing out of Galveston in January, February, and March 1st of 2026. So we're getting Marvel Day at Sea Disney out of Galveston, right down the road. It's like Disney just is like, I know how to get these 2. Let's put it over here in Galveston. Yeah. They're gonna go for it. Tiffany's gonna be like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. One day, my friends, or as I pronounce captains, you'll be on my cruise. What did I say last? It was either Glory or Fantasy of Glory. Glory of Fantasy or Fantasy of Glory. James is here. Hello, James. Hello, Chris and Tiffany and all High Seas cruisers running a little late due to traffic. Yes, traffic is Glisten says, oops, I mean last time. Nellie says, I wish Disney would change magic out here, though.
Well, I mean, they swap it out with the Wonder every once in a while. I mean, it'd be nice if we could get, you know, the Fantasy, the Dream. It'd be really nice if we could get the Wish, the Treasure, the Destiny.
Oh, I missed a drink. Andre said, what's your favorite Carnival ship alcoholic drink? I don't know that it technically has a name, but we went to the Alchemy bar and I said I wanted to taste like coffee and chocolate and I don't want to taste the alcohol. And she made it taste exactly like chocolate coffee.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a favorite drink on Carnival, but I'm also going to have to go back to the Alchemy bar because I like to go over there and say things like, I'd like my drink to be 3 different colors. The colors must be separate. and I want it to taste tropical, and they've yet to fail me. And so I don't think those drinks actually have names.
No.
I think they're just made up concoctions from the Alchemy Bar. So I don't know that I have a favorite drink, but the Alchemy Bar is our favorite place to get a drink because they've never failed to come up with exactly what we asked for, and it tastes good every time.
Yeah. Chica says, I always get a cucumber sunrise at the Alchemy Bar. That sounds very interesting. Glisten says, oh, please no, I love Disney Magic. Please no. Misty says, going to have to bounce out soon. Dinner's done. It's my anniversary. And then off to meet friends to cheers an old friend that passed today. Oh, I am so sorry about your loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's your anniversary and everything. Why are you hanging out? We love having you here. Don't get me wrong. But good God, it's your anniversary and friends. You got stuff going on. Why are you hanging out here with us?
Oh, we love you.
Yeah, we'll be here. Don't worry. We get that. But yeah, we appreciate you stopping by with all that going on. You still
and happy anniversary.
Yeah, you still take time to show up with us.
We love it. Love it, love it, love it.
But believe me, we understand people got other things going on in this world.
But have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, go have fun. You can tell us all about it next week.
Misty says, I've been looking forward to the live all week. That makes me happy.
You've been looking forward to the live because I told you get to go on Disney Cruise again.
Yeah.
See, there is a plus to that too. I can book all kinds of weird stuff after that, and she has to go for it now. Because I'd be like, but I booked you a Disney cruise. And she'd be like, oh, okay.
Ulterior motives. I get it now.
Absolutely ulterior motives.
Glisten's channel said, should I change my name to Glisten's Cruising or keep my original name? What do you guys think? I think whatever makes you happy, go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Tiffany. It's your channel. You should name it what you want to name it, what flows best for you, and what feels best for you.
Yeah, have fun with it. Sheikah says, happy anniversary, Misty. Yes. How many years? That's what I'm curious about. How many years?
Yeah, that's a good one.
James says, happy anniversary, Misty, and prayers to the family and friends.
So, been kind of quiet in cruise news this week.
14 years.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Us too.
Yeah.
Us too. That's a good number.
I like it.
It's a proof of patience, of understanding, and strong iron will. I mean, she's still here, so. Huh?
Exactly.
I was talking about me to you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me to you.
No, about me to you. This one, I have to take Tiffany's truck to work tomorrow because she decided to play. Let's hit my windshield with a big giant rock as it flew off an 18-wheeler. My patience is with you. Not your fault though. But it's you. It is.
It's that truck.
Deer in the body shop, windshield, the windshield people next.
That truck is cursed. When I drove the car, I never had any problems. When I got in the truck, because I wanted to sit higher because the deer were scaring me, I hit 3 deer and had my windshield taken out.
So now that you sit high enough, you don't see the deer as you run them over. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
Andre said, what's going to happen with the people that got in the fight on that ship that's going back to
New York?
New York. I didn't know about
I don't know specifically what's going to happen to those folks yet.
Well, for those that don't know, tell the story.
I don't know the whole story. That's kind of the thing. You don't really know I don't know the story or the whole story. And they more than likely looking at lifetime bans. Cruise lines have switched to the lifetime ban philosophy recently for just about everything. That seems to be their new go-to solution for a lot of stuff. You get caught sneaking alcohol on board a cruise ship, they're saying a lifetime ban. You get caught doing something on a ship that you're not supposed to be doing, illegal drugs, whatever the case may be, they're going for lifetime ban. Bad behavior like fighting, problems like that, a lifetime ban. A cruise line recently has lifetime banned a 9-year-old boy. The boy was 9 and he just received a lifetime ban from Carnival Corporation.
What the heck did that 9-year-old kid do?
Well, his mother wasn't watching him, and apparently he destroyed an arcade machine in the arcade and got into a fight with another little kid. And so at 9 years old, he has now received a lifetime ban.
Okay.
That is the cruise line's new philosophy. Business is good. Bookings are way up. They don't need to play. They don't need to be like, oh, pet boy anymore. You know what I mean? They're going straight to the lifetime ban, get off. I think cruise lines are starting to get a little sick and tired of the bad behavior.
Yeah. I'm on vacation, nothing matters mentality.
Well, a great example is sometimes it's little things. John Heald had to put out on his Facebook page, and I shared it on ours too. Once a week, he has to tell people they cannot go to their rooms and tell the room stewards to get out so they can take a shower before the rooms are ready at 1:30. Why do grown adults have to be told that week after week after week after week? See what I mean? Cruise lines are getting to the point where they're like, fine, we're done. Get off.
Yeah.
And they are just basically pulling over and putting you and your luggage out on the curb and driving off.
Texas Cruiser says at a minimum, they will be banned from the cruise line for life.
That's a new thing.
Yeah. James wants to know, hey, Chris, what's the average price of a beer and mixed drink on RCL? Still trying to figure out if the drink package is worth it. I don't know about beer, but I think the average price was what, 12?
About 12
to 14.
12 to 14 for a drink is probably about average. I usually use this formula, and it's a pretty decent formula. It's not foolproof in any way. But if you're going to drink, 7 to 8 drinks every day, and that's your alcoholic drinks, if you're going to drink some specialty coffees, you're going to have some sodas, you're going to have some energy drinks, you're going to have some juice, then, 5, 6, 7 cocktails over a full 24-hour period. At that point, I'd say the drink package is worth it. At that point, you are breaking even, or moving into saving a little bit of money. That's usually about the good round cutoff point.
Bob says, would love to see the lifetime ban across all lines. Yes.
I am wondering if that's something we're going to see in the future, like you see with airlines. You end up on the no-fly list. Very possible that someday there will be the no cruise list, where, you don't go on any cruise line. Vegas has it. If you end up in the black book or get blacklisted in Vegas, that they share that with the hotels around them, the casinos around them. Airlines share that information. So it's definitely not far-fetched to think that cruise lines would be next to share that kind of information and keep people off of all cruises. And to be honest with you, it's probably a really good idea. We're in a confined space on a confined vessel for X number of days. You cannot have the extraordinary disruptive people on board that ship, because it's felt by everybody. When they start fist fighting and just blatantly doing whatever they want to do, it affects too many people too often. And just never allowing them on the ship again is probably the way to go. And we're going to continue probably see an influx of this, because right now cruise lines are experiencing extremely high numbers of new cruisers. People that have never cruised before, they're getting on the ship, and excuse my country French, but they're getting on there and they're showing their ass. And experienced cruisers stuck dealing with it. But it's not just new cruisers too. Yeah. Remember, you always got that, but I am Diamond, and I will go to my room whenever I want, order whatever I want, say whatever I want, and the crew members best bow and kiss my feet. Types on there too.
Ellie said, I was just writing about the 9-year-old boy. Haha, they should have banned the parents too. You would think they would.
Technically, though, I get it. And essentially they have. Because unless you're going to leave your 9-year-old child with somebody else, a babysitter or something else, so you can go cruise, you can't go cruise.
Yeah.
Because you can't take your child with you anymore. So it's kind of like a ban on the parents. And other than what kind of parent lets their 9-year-old go explore the ship all by themselves, it's technically the mom didn't do any of the things, I guess. Other than the fact she wasn't watching, clearly not watching her child. Because she had no idea any of that stuff even occurred until security knocked on her door.
Attila said, lifetime ban is the new thing. Yep, bring dangerous drugs, and you get a 2-for-1 ban. Plus a nice suite in the Texas State Prison. What a deal. Texas Cruiser.
Play stupid games, win some extra stupid prizes.
Texas Cruiser said the drink package will cover up to $14 per drink. Wine is like 10 to 12. Mixed, a little above that, but less than 14. Attila said 12 to 14 without tips. Sheikah at Attila, nothing like the best room in the house. Nellie said, I saw a vlog recently and some that went on Carnival last week successful in filling up their soda cans with liquor. They then told on their own self. Who tells? Okay.
My God, that is my new favorite form of idiot. I'm sure you guys remember it used to be on I forget the channel's on, but it used to be Dumbest Criminals on Earth. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
America's Stupidest Criminals. This is like an internet version of that show. Who sneaks something on board a ship? Something that's getting kicked off and get them in. Then films themselves doing it, posts it to the internet after the cruise line has said, we watch the internet. And if we see it and we find you on our ship, we'll kick you off. Then the cruise line go and does that, and they still post it. My God, they should just have you've seen that disclaimer that says mature audiences only, trigger warning, right?
Mm-hmm.
They should have one now that says, stupidity about to be shared. I mean, seriously, who freaking films themselves? But I've seen it on regular stuff that's nothing to do with cruising. Criminals that film themselves and post their crimes on Facebook. And then the cops sit there and watch it. People are just stupid. Stupid.
Attila says, I don't drink anymore, though. I buy tea and coffee about it lately. They have coffee packages on some of them.
Well, they all have some form of coffee package. Yeah. So on Carnival, you get the card, and you get the punches, and after X number of punches, you get a free coffee. Yeah. On Royal Caribbean, they've got the $30 coffee card. You've used that one before. You like that one.
Be careful, though, on that one, because if you get like a frappe, it's 2 punches.
Mm-hmm. Some of the drinks will be 2 punches, but you've still gotten plenty of use out of one of those cards before.
James says, okay, thank you, everybody. That helps out. Bob said beer was running about $7.50, and remember 18% gratuity. Texas Cruiser said that's about right. James says, thank you, Bob. Not much of a beer drinker, but like to have one every now and again.
Yeah, so the real decision is going to be, how many of those are you going to drink per day? Calculating for the fact that we are going to be now on Royal Caribbean, since we're going to be on Royal Caribbean, your drink package does work on Coco Key. So when we're off on the private island that day, your drink package still does work there. But of course, it won't work in Costa Maya and it won't work in Cozumel. But it will work on Royal Caribbean's private island. So that's a plus.
Yeah. Where are we at? Texas Cruiser says, since I started getting 5 free drinks, I quit buying the drink package. I would too.
We don't buy the drink package now, and 5 free drinks. We would honestly,
I would get 5 free coffees.
Yeah, Tiffany would take 5 free coffees.
Yeah.
So, and once we get the drink package, even with the 5 free drinks a day on Royal Caribbean, I still think I'd get the soda package.
Yeah.
I like the cup and the freestyle machines enough to continue to get that. And at $9 or whatever it is per day, if you get it ahead of time, it's nice being able to go 24 hours a day and get something to drink. And it's quite a large variety.
Attila says, yes, Sheikah, I hear you get a free bus ride there. The AC is always broken. Glisten said, one time I almost got hit with a flying chair on a cruise ship over a fight about a simple beverage.
I wish I could say that didn't sound right, but it does.
Yeah. Texas Cruiser said, I bet your head was on a swivel then. Yeah, but then I ended up dodging it once I turned around. Yeah, people like to throw.
Yeah, there are clearly some people out there who have very little reason and to be out in public with others.
Oh, yeah. Nellie said they tell on their own self and talk about they were in room 8775. So you told on yourself and then told them where you were.
Exactly where you were. They should just wear a sign that says, I'm stupid, come pick me up at this location. Because it's not like the cruise line can go back and say, who was in this room on this day? Oh, it was you. Lifetime ban.
Attila says, someone told us one time they snuck vodka on board in their carry-on bottles. They carried it around ship in water bottles and drank all day. Wow, not good.
No, but because they posted things like that, the cruise lines are now looking. I have seen some videos where security is like inspecting water bottles because you're not supposed to bring on bottles of water in the first place. That's why you can't bring them on anymore, because people were sneaking vodka in them. But bottles of wine, they're looking for any form of tampering. Anything, they're looking for forms of tampering now. You take on a 12-pack of soda, it's possible they're going to open the box and make sure it's actually sodas in there.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
That's why I take the individual cans and put them in the backpack.
And I would suspect that on upcoming cruises, they will actually take them out of the backpack and look at them, which a lot of times they don't.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, we've had cans in our carry-on bag and they've gone through security. They're obviously cans. They're there. They don't actually ever look. And maybe, I don't know this, but can they read the label on a can when it goes through the x-ray scanner? Or does it just show a can? What if you can read the label? Maybe that's why they don't ever ask.
Oh.
But they've never actually asked to see the cans for, as far as my mind understands it, we could have 12 beers in there. And they've never asked to look.
Yeah.
It's never 12 beers. It's 12 monsters. But what if the x-ray machine can see the label?
I don't know. Nellie says, Attila, that is ridiculous. Just sneak it and go. And most of all, shut up.
Yeah, let's be honest. There's going to always be someone who tries to sneak it. There's always going to be someone who is successful at doing it. People still complain that there are cabins and balconies and hallways that smell like weed. Well, there's inspectors and there's dogs and everything like that. Yet people still swear up and down they smell weed. So there's clearly ways to do things.
Yeah.
Don't do it where you're going to get caught, and don't make an ass of yourself so they look at you, and then don't post it on social media.
Nellie said, when I went on Mariner, they made me take my 12-pack to a table, and they opened it and took each of them out. I've seen them do that, and then they tape it all back up.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a video one time where someone had a 12-pack of soda, and you could see the two top sodas through the carrying handle. So they took all the sodas out, refilled it with beer, except for the two on the carrying handle. They put soda back there, and then they glued the ends shut. So it was all beer and 2 cans of soda. Then they put it on the internet. Mm-hmm. And surprise, surprise, they started opening 12-packs after that. How weird, right?
Yeah. James said, I like cruising too much to take a chance to sneak drinks on board and get banned from it.
I am utterly with you on that. I am not sneaking anything on board that shit.
That much for alcohol, so I'm not going to risk.
We don't try to sneak anything on board, though.
Texas Cruiser says, a couple of summers ago, oh, wait, I missed one. Attila said, I've been questioned just once. Wife brought fancy wine with her, and security asked a few questions since it didn't look like a regular bottle, but it was just wine, but expensive.
Yeah, we've gotten questioned once or twice about cans. They say, can we see them? open it up, they look at it and say, "Oh, okay, that's an energy drink. That's a Monster can." Have a nice day, folks. And the last time we bought tequila in Mexico, we came back to the ship. As soon as we hit the security line, we're like, "There's tequila in this bag."
That was you. I wasn't with you.
Yeah, with the mango tequila. Okay, it was just me. Sorry, I forgot you weren't there, baby. But I went straight to security as soon as I got that line to go through the scanner. I'm like, "I have a bottle of alcohol I bought in this line. I'm here to turn it in." And they were like, "Okay, yeah, go over there."
Texas Cruiser says, a couple summers ago, I was foreman of the Galveston County Grand Jury. I signed an indictment of a cruise passenger waiting to board a Carnival cruise ship with drugs in his luggage.
Somebody just got arrested at the Galveston cruise port back 3 days ago. He had heroin, fentanyl, and THC vape stuff on his person. 76 grams of fentanyl and heroin trying to board a cruise ship.
Ellie said, Rick, the wrong one to have in the jury on a cruise trial. Rick said, throw the book at him.
Yeah. Guilty, 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 guilty. I mean, yeah, but how much real deliberation can go into that? You were in the line, it was in your bag, you got caught. How do you it wasn't mine. You know?
Yeah, and the first thing they ask you, has anybody messed with your luggage?
There's an insanity plea, but let's be honest, there's not a I'm stupid plea. You can't just go before the judge and go, sorry, I'm dumb.
Now, they said he was trying to party. Texas Cruiser said, we always bring 2 bottles of wine on our Royal Cruise. That's legal and plenty for 7 days. Those are for Donna, by the way.
He said, we bring 2. I don't drink them. They're for her.
I could never get into wine. It always makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah, we've tried multiple times. We've tried multiple times and just never been our thing.
James said, thanks, Chris. Did not think about drinks on the island.
Yeah, they're one of the few cruise lines where the drink package actually works on their private island.
Chica said, what is happening to cruising?
What is happening to cruising? Just my opinion, but COVID ended and people were stuck in their house and they got to take a vacation again, and cruising suddenly became very, 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 very popular. It's also a cost-effective way to vacation. You know, you could book a cruise a year and a half out. You can take your time to pay it off. It makes it more affordable to more people. And we had a huge influx of new cruisers. I mean, a lot of new cruisers. We're talking in the millions of new cruisers since COVID. And I think there's a lot of people that don't understand that you have to behave within a certain limitation when you're confined to a space like that.
There's still etiquette to be followed.
You know, and they also have a problem understanding that just because something is legal in your state does not mean it is federally legal. There's also a group of people out there that cannot seem to understand that American law is not what you face when you create problems out in international waters in foreign countries. You know, we've all seen that before. What are they going to do to me? I'm American. Cool, you're not in America, so they're going to do bad things to you.
Bob said, we did the wine bottles until we hit Diamond. Texas Cruiser said she also gets 5 free a day. Phyllis says, fentanyl is so dangerous. If a kid got exposed, the medical staff probably doesn't have the medicine to treat them. They'd die on board.
Yeah, they say CDC says fentanyl is the most dangerous drug out there that causes the most overdoses in the United States. And only a little bit, tiny bit, can affect hundreds and thousands of people. Like I forget what the numbers were, but it was a low gram number can, you know, overdose up to like 1,000 people. It was terribly frightening numbers for fentanyl. And now that's on board a cruise ship. And I'm thinking, as dangerous as that is, and as quickly as you can overdose on that, what was his plan with 76 grams of heroin laced with fentanyl? What was his plan with that? It couldn't have been to take it himself.
Mm-mm.
Okay, that killed him. So what was he going to do with that much fentanyl on a cruise ship? That's the real question.
Nellie said, I saw a video where they say those loan programs like Affirm and Karma make it possible since they pay a certain amount every 2 weeks, and that brings tons of new cruisers.
Yeah, those programs have definitely gotten a lot more popular. I personally don't know that I don't know that I really get that program, though. I guess unless you don't have a bank card, because isn't that exactly what you do with the cruise line? You put your deposit down and you can pay whatever you want to pay every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, every month, all the way up till maybe that forces them on a set schedule where they have to pay and they can't skip it and like a car payment, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Bob says, yes, luckily my wife gets 3 and I get 5 drinks. Texas Cruiser said, we also get a free bottle of wine in the stateroom due to being Diamond Plus.
That is a lot of wine.
Yeah.
Last time, what did we get last time? A bottle of champagne. We were walking around the cruise ship trying to give it away.
Mm-hmm. No, we got a bottle of wine and a bottle of champagne.
And we tried to give away the bottle of wine.
We told the server to keep it.
Oh, that's right. We gave it to the dining room server and said, here, you want a bottle of wine? Because he had to go ask permission from his management to come out and hear us say we wanted him to have that. That's right. I forgot about that. Last time they gave us a bottle of wine, we gave it away. Give away to the crew.
Yep. James said, yes, it is, Attila, so dangerous, and it's running wild on the streets. Just Cody said sell it. He wanted to sell it. James said, thinking the same, Cody. Sheikah said, sell it on the islands. Maybe he was thinking he could sell it on board.
I don't know. I'm glad they caught him. That could have been an ugly cruising situation because they're probably right. I think that's Narcan that they have to use on fentanyl. Mm-hmm. I mean, how much Narcan is a cruise ship actually carrying in the medical supply? I'm not saying they don't have it. They do have it. I actually have no idea.
Apparently, you can get Narcan over the counter now. I don't know.
I don't either, but I don't know that the cruise ships are carrying it.
But Attila said, yeah, but what if the crew buys the drugs? Safety issue for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nellie said, take the drugs to sell on ports. He trying to make a quick buck to pay for his next cruise.
I don't know that he was trying to sell it in port, though. And the reason I say that is his cruise was out of Galveston. So more than likely, it was going to Mexico. Would you really take fentanyl to sell in Mexico? And drugs to sell in Mexico? You can get those in Mexico.
Sheikah said, why didn't you call me? I like champagne and wine. Nellie says Sheikah also likes tequila.
And there's the first poke of the night.
Texas Cruiser said, on the President's Cruise on Allure out of Galveston, there was free drinks everywhere. Royal knows how to party. To use up my vouchers, I had the bars give me unopened beers that I brought home. Yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it.
Tiffany would just be double fisting coffee. Oh.
Texas Cruiser said, I had well over a 6-pack of Foster's beer that I brought home. James says, by the way, Chris, if you get wine or champagne, knock on my door. I will take it.
Oh, yeah. Those that are on the ship with us will absolutely have first dibs or picks on anything like that we will not drink. So absolutely we'll get away. I forget what ship we're on, but we didn't know anybody on that particular sailing, and just to give it to.
Sheikah said, wonder if he got paid to take it over and deliver it to someone else on the islands.
Who knows? It absolutely didn't say what he was there for. At the end of the day, I'm just glad he got caught.
Yeah. Just Cody said, I would think to try and sell it on the ship, but I could be totally wrong. Hopefully so.
Well, the interesting thing is they searched his luggage. Then he got selected for a secondary luggage search. And that's when they discovered it and found it. Usually if it gets that far, there's very possibility that they suspected it was already there. It's almost like they knew to look.
Nellie said, one thing I will say, Royal gives swag on inaugural. My friend went on World America inaugural, and he said they didn't get any gifts to signify that it was first cruise. I don't know.
MSC, they row to their own tune. Admittedly so. I like that idea, but
Yeah. James said, this is my first RCL cruise, so I will take it and pay the corkage fee.
well, remember, if you take the bottle of wine to your room, to your cabin, you open it there, you pour the wine into a glass, tumbler, whatever the case may be, you take that with you to dinner, you now do not pay the corkage fee. And you can still have your wine. You just have to open it yourself in your room and pour it in your own glass, and you bypass the corkage fee.
Nellie, Chica to Nellie, what are you saying? Are you calling me a lush? Nellie's just laughing. Texas Cruisers, Michael Bailey had a water gun that shot out champagne that he shot into people's mouth. Yes, it was very formal sailing. It's a way to do it, right?
Yeah, Michael Bailey, I've seen videos of him. I've never obviously met the man or cruised with him, but he doesn't come off as a very stiff leader of the company when he's on the ship.
Bob says, love the top tier event as well. Nellie says, don't they say that the room steward has a wine opener and no corkage?
They probably do. It would not surprise me. I'm not saying anything bad about room stewards. Love room stewards. And room stewards will not do anything that will get them fired.
No, they won't.
But if you need a little something extra that they can provide to you, you slip them a couple dollars extra for a little extra service, they're going to get it for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a good example. We
Chris
run
likes ice.
No, I'm not even the ice one.
Oh.
The lighter remember one. So we got on a ship and we had a lighter and it stopped working, or we lost it.
It stopped working.
It stopped working.
And of course we forgot the backups.
Yeah, on embarkation evening. And the shops on board the ship did not sell individual lighters. And we had a sea day before we got to port where we knew we could buy a lighter. We were telling our room steward about it. And magically, a lighter appeared in our cruise cabin. Said, we're really looking for one. We can't find one. He said, I got you guys. And when we came back to the room, there was a lighter in our room. He was tipped very, very well because he just made it happen.
Yeah. We now carry about 4 or 5.
Yeah, now we carry plenty of extra, so we learn from our mistakes. But yeah, if a room steward can make something happen for you, if you are good to them, good God, they are good to you.
Yes. Texas Cruiser James, you can take your own wine bottle opener so you don't have to pay a corkage fee. In the past, Royal gave me a bottle opener. Tilla said, I bring my own corkscrew and the security never asked about it. Well, yet, who knows now? Texas Cruiser says, I have several Royal wine bottle openers. James says, okay, Rick, just thought about that. I have a couple here. Chica says, I have a wine opener and a beer opener that live in my suitcase. You never know who might need them.
Absolutely. And those are things that are allowed on cruise ships. And you're not breaking any rules. The cruise line only wants that corkage fee if the staff opens it for you in the dining room. That's it. Cruise line will tell you, open in your cabin. You don't have to pay it for it. They come out and say that. So, yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with bringing your own, opening it in your room, pouring a glass, and then take it with you around the ship, and you pay no corkage fee.
Aliens here. Hi, all. 3 days until our cruise.
Nice.
Awesome. I love it. I'm jealous. Nellie at Chica. About that question you just asked me, since you have a wine and beer opener. Texas says, I checked with Royal and they do not have a restriction for corkscrew openers. Nellie said, alien about to sail. I feel like you've been talking about it forever. Now it's time to go. Time to go. Time to go. Have fun.
Well, it is a Christian channel. We've all been talking about it forever.
Yes.
As soon as one ends, someone else has got another one lined up.
Yeah.
How
many days till ours?
I don't know. It's like depressing. I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's still triple digits. Oh.
Only 12 more days and it's double digits.
Oh.
Bob says, Alien, we expect pictures. James says, Sheikah, that's a good idea. Never thought that I can be a lush. Attila said, I paid for one bottle to be opened at dinner one night just for the experience. It was. They pour our wine and we chat about it for a bit and have a good meal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you absolutely can pay it and they will absolutely take care of it for you. So the crew will do just about anything.
Texas Cruiser says, how's your hummingbirds doing, Tiffany? They are not as many. I think they're starting to migrate on.
She's insane. There had to have been 20 of them out there this afternoon.
Well, I didn't see them this afternoon, but they're doing great. We still have that meanie one that likes to chase them all off.
She has 6 feeders out front and has to refill them. What are you refilling them now? Every 2 days? 3 days?
2 or 3 days, yeah. I need to fill
this
them
bird this big, and they drink 6 of them empty. There's birds everywhere. They're constantly out there.
Alien said, oops. I was going to say Miss Alien gets her doctorate on Friday, too. I'm exhausted. That's
exciting, though. Congratulations,
Mrs. Alien. I love it.
Absolutely.
Wow. Nellie, I have the honeymoon, July 31st, Mariner, and then the High Seas mini cruise, and then nothing till November on Oasis to ABC.
That's still a good run of cruises.
Chris is here. Hi, y'all. Just got off work. I'm glad I made it. I was afraid I was going to miss you. You didn't miss us.
Nope, we are still here.
Yes.
We're talking about corkage fees and drinking on board cruise ships.
And Mrs. Alien getting her doctorate on Friday.
That's true. Miss Alien's getting her doctorate. Misty is celebrating an anniversary. She has stepped away to go enjoy her anniversary. Yes. But Misty is celebrating an anniversary. 14 years. So got some good stuff going on in here tonight.
Let's see. Congrats, Mrs. Alien. Sheikah said there is always a mean hummingbird. My husband has not seen any yet.
Yeah, Tiffany has a mean one out there. He's got a red neck.
Mm-hmm.
We got ones that got purple necks, red necks, white necks. Some that just have gray necks. But the one with the red neck, he's the mean one. He chases the others off. 6 feeders, but he still will run you off.
Yeah. Texas says, you inspired me to put ours out. We have a few hummingbirds that come around. Now, Texas, what kind of food do you use? Do you make your own or do you buy the red stuff? Chris said, congratulations, Miss Alien. Huge accomplishment. Yes, it is. Very big accomplishment.
Very big.
Nellie said, Misty, 14 years. Martin Haley, 14 days. Hey, you got to start somewhere.
That's right. You absolutely got to start somewhere. It'll be 14 years before you know it. You blink and it'll be 14 years.
Yeah. Sheikah said it, Nellie. I thought your honeymoon was next month. How many honeymoons are you taking?
As many as possible, I would say.
Texas Cruiser says, I buy what hummingbird stuff from Amazon has.
Oh, Tiffany makes her own. It's sugar and water.
Yeah.
It's, what is it?
4 parts. So
excuse me?
When I mix it, I do 1 cup of sugar, 4 cups of hot water. And then let it cool off. Stir it real good. Let it cool off and then pour it in there.
It's like making Texas sweet tea without tea.
Yeah.
They like that stuff.
Chris said, I love the drink package. Never cruise without it. Just like cruise insurance.
You got to be covered.
Yep. Nellie says, Sheikah, just 1 honeymoon, 2 cruises. Bob says, we always make up our own. Texas Cruiser said, good to know, Tiffany, thanks. It's a lot cheaper that way too, because I can get a big old bag of sugar, 10-pound bag of sugar for a couple bucks.
What kind of sneeze was that? The kind where the oak pollen is really, really high right now.
Suzanne is here. Welcome. She said, I was licked by a hummingbird on my hand. His tongue was cold. That would be so awesome.
They're getting braver and braver. Tiffany's been feeding them for a couple years, and you can stand out on the front porch a foot or two away from their feeders, and they will fly right by your head and everything else. I'm pretty sure
I want to get one of those finger feeders that you put on your finger and they come to it. My problem is I shake.
Scare the whole bird and knock all the
And
fluid
that
out.
feeder would be going like this the whole time, and it would never come around. So
I don't know. I saw them eating in the thunderstorm the other morning. The feeders are swaying, and the birds were still out there swaying, getting wet, rained on, lightning, thunder, and birds. The hummingbirds are still eating.
yeah. Alien
So
said, bless you.
I'm not sure they care.
Yeah.
You know.
Attila said, if you're into wine, Carnival sells a wine bottle package where you get 5 bottles of your choice pre-purchase, and it's a lot cheaper than on board if you don't have a drink package.
Is tequila considered a wine?
Chica said, my husband also makes the hummingbird food. Yeah.
It's way less expensive than buying it in the store, and you keep that red dye.
Mm-hmm.
That red dye number 5.
I don't know what it is, but they said it's not good for him, so I don't want to hurt him.
Yeah, and her birds grow in number year after year. They migrate away and they continue to come back.
I'm on the hunt for a nest. As close as they are, I'm on the hunt for a nest.
They got to be living somewhere. There's like 20 birds out there. They've got to be somewhere. But Tiffany has all kinds of animals out there. She has her hummingbird. She has an entire family of cardinals. They've been here since we've been here.
Yeah.
And they're always here.
Got a few squirrels.
A few squirrels
Some
and 5 deer.
One time we had a turkey.
The turkeys. So she's got a little zoo going on. And I told her the other day, you know, she likes Disney. I really think that she thinks she's a Disney princess, that she wants to go outside and whistle and all the animals come. I think that's where she's going with that.
Oh, it's no. No, tequila might be better. Wine is fine, but liquor is quicker. Texas Cruiser. Nelly, if you need honeymoon advice, let me know. I won't charge for it.
Okay.
Nellie said Tiffany is the Texas Snow White.
She thinks so. She thinks so. She wants birds on her fingers, on her shoulders. She's out there. Yeah, it's.
Alien wants to know, where's that creme brulee video? I'm telling you, that one's scaring me, but I'm gonna.
Where's your confetti cheesecake one?
I was supposed to do the confetti cheesecake one today, and I completely forgot that I had made prior plans, so that will be put off a week.
She got up, she got dressed, she left. I don't even know where she spent all day. I have no clue where you even been today. She came back with a sandwich though, so that kind of stopped me from asking at that particular point. She's like, I'm back. Here's a sandwich. Oh, okay, we're good.
Suzanne said, I filled one feeder with the red stuff and one with homemade, and they all chose the homemade. Hands, yellow heart red. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, that's probably emojis, but they're not popping up.
Oh, that could be what that is.
I think that's
remember, there's that weird button that if I click it, it makes
yeah
stuff go up on the screen, and I forget how to do it.
Yeah, the hummingbirds tend to like that homemade stuff a lot better. When we first put a hummingbird feeder out, I put the red stuff in it, and they didn't really come around. My mom told me about the hummingbird food, or I looked it up on Google, and then they started.
So yeah, it was a heart emoji. Yeah, weird. On our end, it shows up and it's not a heart emoji. It says hands yellow, heart red.
Yeah,
it's in words.
Some of the emojis, like Nelly when he did the laugh out loud happy faces, some of the emojis show up, but others don't.
It's weird. It's probably the program.
Yeah. So, but yeah, them hummingbirds, they definitely like that homemade stuff.
Yeah, and it's just some emojis because, like, I see Nellie's emojis
That's what I just said.
and things. I'm reading the comment. Weirdo. You tell everybody where you were all day. How about
I
that?
was in New Braunfels.
Were you eating food?
We might have stopped at a barbecue place and had some peach cobbler.
I was hungry for like 7 hours, and you're out eating peach cobbler. And I'm sitting here thinking about taking you on a Disney cruise.
I don't
Wow.
like peach cobbler.
Well, apparently you don't like Disney cruises either.
Nellie said, note to self, stop putting emoji middle finger. Suzanne said, I'm with you, Texas Cruiser Patron.
No Patron, no. Good stuff from Mexico. No. I am not. I like tequila, but nothing that's made in the United States or nothing that's made for the U.S. market because they put that ethanol in it. Real Mexican tequila does not burn your throat. There should be no burn, no after effect when you drink tequila. It should go down smooth. Tequila is for sipping.
Texas Cruiser said, Nellie, we need to go on a cruise with our wives. If we don't get kicked off, it will be a blast. I was going to say, aren't we going on one? But I forgot Haley can't go on that one, so Mom is going.
Definitely to keep Nellie in check. He has to take his mom so he behaves.
Bob said, amen, Chris.
Yeah, tequila's not supposed to burn. Tequila's for sipping. Learn that by cruising. Because before we started cruising, I hated tequila. Hated it. It's nasty, didn't taste good, anything like that. Went to Mexico and they're like, have some tequila. I said, ooh, I hate tequila. And they were like, you've never had tequila, sir. And they were correct. And now every time I go to Mexico, I have tequila.
For breakfast.
It's not my fault that it's 8:30 in the morning. Okay. Apparently breakfast tequila is a thing, okay?
Nellie said, right, Rick? It would be great. Don't mind Haley when she falls asleep when we talk cruising. Suzanne said, Patron Platinum is smooth.
They're talking about tequilas.
What is... I don't even know how to say that.
Where are you at?
White Patron is my favorite, but I do drink Sauza Silver Daily. Sauza? I'm sorry. I don't know what that. I'm assuming it's tequila.
I like the stuff Roberto brings us at lunch.
Yes.
That's what I like. When he's coming around saying, nope. We got to have a shot tequila together.
Yep.
This is, you're in my house. We're friends. We will shoot tequila together.
Yep.
And it's the only time we ever really do that. But he makes us.
Texas Cruiser says, yes, it is, Suzanne. I have a bottle of coffee flavor Patron in my cabinet. I save for special occasions. Nellie said, I have to go now. Everyone take care. And Alien, have fun, sir, on y'all's cruise.
Absolutely. Yep, we are reaching a little over the 1 hour mark. And so I think we are going to wrap this up today. Yeah, absolutely. Misty, have yourself a great anniversary.
Yes.
Alien, congratulations on your doctoral. Have yourselves a great cruise in 3 days.
Yes.
Nellie will talk to you before your 18 days.
Yes.
But I know you're really looking forward to that. Celebrity Beyond and the Carnival Freedom. And of course, 111 days to Harmony of the Seas.
Yes. Texas Cruiser says, everyone have an awesome week.
You know what sucks about that, though? Even next week's live show will still not be in double digits.
Don't think about it today.
You asked me today.
No, I didn't.
So, but I'll probably throw up some more little short videos of Tiffany's hummingbirds for everybody because Tiffany loves her birdies. Even the dog does. She sits on the back of the couch and Just watches out the window and watches them because they're right outside his window right there. He enjoys just sitting there watching. But we will be back next week. Another live video. I have a video coming out tomorrow morning, and it is actually titled 10 Things That Piss Off Cruisers.
Okay.
10 things. Now, these are comments from real cruisers that they answered the question, what do they hate, dislike, pisses them off, makes their blood boil on a cruise. And I have the top 10 responses that they gave.
Is elevator etiquette one of them?
Elevator etiquette is absolutely on that list, but I bet you cannot guess number one. What was the number one thing that they disliked most about the cruise?
Disembarkation.
My God, did you already watch my video?
No,
Anyway,
but that's my worst one.
you're giving away the video. Anyway, so we will have that out tomorrow. I'll have a video out on some everybody wants this video out on Friday. And of course, we will have a video out on Saturday.
Yes.
The closer you get to cruise, the slower time goes. Absolutely.
We'll get there.
But we will absolutely get there. Well, of course, we're coming up on 60 days from Tennessee. So we do have some adventures going on before there.
Yep.
And Ray says, happy
bird season.
Yeah, you do love your bird season.
Yes.
So when you stand outside, hold out your arms, sing Disney songs, and hope they land all over you.
Yes.
But really appreciate everybody being here. I always hate having to find all the buttons we need here at the end. Okay. But thank you, everybody, for being here. We really appreciate it. See you guys next week. And, of course, like always,
We'll see you out on the high seas.
good night, everybody.